Hello beautiful people and welcome back to the channel. So yes, in this video we would like to evaluate the new hero, the Navi Hero, which we will get tomorrow based on the leaks we have today. So yeah, grab your popcorns and let's start. Fact number 1, this hero is 100% a Navi Hero, and another 100% this is an offense buffing hero, and that's exactly why you see left and right Kotiya and Gipsy, as they are the best alternatives we have right now. So what do you see on the screen? It's obvious we have way too many heroes, so can we take at least one of these heroes down? And of course, yes, we can. We can take Gipsy down for the following 2 reasons. Reason number 1, sooner or later you will need Gipsy on the tanks. And the reason number 2, I must explain. Gipsy is buffing all the units plus only the front row, and this new hero will gonna buff also all the units plus the back rows. While with the new hero you have potentially the chance to get a way higher offense buffing capability, Gipsy on the other hand, it's giving you a solid proc hit. So the difference between Gipsy and the new hero is Gipsy will give you a proc hit. The new hero doesn't have a proc hit, but he has an extra tool which can give you a higher offense buffing capability. So drawing the line, I would take Gipsy Danger any day and use him instead of the new hero on the Navy. So let's explain a bit more. And we'll take Gipsy off the screen and leave Kotiya in order to compare the new hero versus Kotiya back to back. So let's start with the offense buff. Now you see Kotiya giving you an offense buff for all the slots, while the new hero gives you a 70% for the front, which is a bit lower than Kotiya, while giving you a 100% for the last 2 rows, with another tool on top, which we're gonna explain in a second. So from the first tool point of view, the new hero gets 1 point, Kotiya gets 0. The second tool both heroes actually have is the silence. So we all know how Kotiya's silence works. It's only for the heroes, which is actually the highest damage possible in game, while the silence of the new hero, presumably the translation is correct, it's gonna be more or less like the jammer, which is preventing a default unit hit. Now this default unit hit will never gonna be the issue. The real issue would be if the opponent is actually using a rage-based hero, and yes, these heroes actually need every single default unit hit in order to load their rage bar. Now at this point we have to mention that there is not a single rage-based hero which is top tier right now. The only hero even worth mentioning is the hero called Ray, but even she is close to being a second best choice, or in other words, being used for the second march. So the conclusion on the silence tool is Kotiya wins 100%. So now we come to the third tool, which is a bit more difficult to explain, but we're gonna try to do that. So both heroes have a skill called the heavy armor. Now I did explain that in a few of my videos, but let me give you a quick recapitulation on that. You're always gonna hear me saying you need an offense buffing hero. You're always gonna hear me saying you need a hero with the indestructible buff, but you will never ever hear me saying you need a hero with a heavy armor tool. That's exactly what it is. It's something you're getting on top, but won't make any real difference. So Kotiya has just only the heavy armor, while the new hero has something else hooked up to this heavy armor shield. So the new hero per default at 5-star will gonna give you a 10% extra damage per layer of heavy armor. With a level 5 skill, this will go all the way up to 25% per shield layer, and of course with the level 7 will go all the way up to 50% per layer of heavy armor. And we also have a cap of 200%. Now if you're a viewer of my channel and you see some of the battle reports, I actually show you guys 200% damage. That's a lot. I mean, I have around a bit over 300%. So the buff is absolutely massive, but is not that quite as simple as you may think. Therefore, I have to explain you the RNG part of this tool. Now, you can get a certain amount of layers of heavy armor on top. The more you're gonna get, the higher the damage will be. But with every hit on that slot from your opponent, one layer of this heavy armor will drop. So you see the tool is very, very powerful, but having also a very, very powerful RNG. And we also have to mention that for specifically that slot, if your Lila or your Crimson won't proc from that slot, this effect is more or less equal 0. So this specific tool, we're gonna give some very wild battle results starting from what exactly is this hero actually doing, because I don't see any difference, kind of starting point, all the way up to a battle results which you're gonna describe like, oh my god, what did just happen? So these are the two heroes back to back. Now let's draw the conclusion. So the true difference between Kotiya and the new hero is that Kotiya has that hero silencing skill, and if your opponent is somewhere close to your stats or even higher, whenever his heroes will proc, that will gonna do severe damage on your slots. In other words, this would lead to those slots which took such severe damage doing way less damage. That versus the new hero with his extremely powerful offense buffing capability, but there are gonna be a lot of different battle factors which will gonna influence the value of this super buff by a lot. So not only that, you need your Lila and Crimson to actually proc from these slots with a very high offense buff. The opponent's performance and his hero's proc will heavily affect the value of this tool. So what's my opinion on this hero? Dear Riva game, I truly understand that the game needs RNG because that's the salt and pepper of the game. But when you have too much salt and too much pepper, aka RNG, that's no fun anymore. Or in other words, seeing the way this hero is designed and his super powerful tool, it reminds me of a day in which we had Maximo and everything was pretty much fine. And one morning we all woke up with a heavy trooper with an extra high fire rate on top, and everybody started asking what did just happen. So we can actually say that this new hero, yes, it looks better than Kotiya, but please take this in consideration. With this hero, you're gonna get some very wild and unlogic battle results versus the same opponent. So Riva game, just like I said in the past, there is no way around you bringing a tool to the game which allows us to recycle directly the special skills of the heroes into universal skill charts. It's also no way around you bringing some heroes which we actually really need, like Lanchester for tanks, Lanchester for navy. Why not make a Diana 2.0, make an Amalia 2.0, make a Scaramanga 2.0, make a Kuruzo 2.0 before you implement heroes like this. So beautiful people, I hope this evaluation kind of more or less explained the new hero. I hope you subscribe to the channel. If not, please do so because it helps me a lot. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this type of content and you truly want to encourage me to keep up doing this type of content. And of course, if you have questions, you know where the comments are, and don't forget to see me in the next episode.